All right, let's do some news. I only have really like one time a week to do all of this. So what have we got to talk about? Kilmar Albrego Garcia. Now they're trying to talk about taking away birthright citizenship, so doing it with those two. So that's one of the things. The other things, obviously, is tariffs, specifically ES tariffs across the board, specifically, obviously, then China too. Also, I do want to talk about the birthright citizenship thing. By which I mean, when I say I want to talk about these things, I want to hear Trump talking about them. Things that he has specifically said, either in a tweet or a Truth Central post, or out of the arse's mouth. Sometimes the way that he responds to things is just so telling of what it is that he truly thinks or feels, or what it is that he's really actually trying to say. So yeah, those are like a few of the key points I just want to catch up on, specifically what he has said or in interviews, you know. And then we will also have a look at Elon Musk. I'm always just asking myself, like, where is Elon Musk right now? He was everywhere all of the time doing absolutely everything, and obviously he's still around. Baby Mama's over here, Trolled on the Game's over here. Something to do with Trump being angry because he didn't know that Musk was being invited into super secret surveillance meetings or something. So there's stuff, but you see what I mean? He's kind of like, he's dropping off the radar, and I wonder whose intention that is. I wonder who's like, is that from both sides? Him wanting to pull himself back because, you know, the backlash or whatever, or maybe him being told to do that, you know, by like Tesla and SpaceX or something. His lot of like, you know, he needs to take a step back, or Mr. Trump tell him to take a step back, or something, you know, because it's definitely happened, hasn't it? Because I'm waiting for that to sort of fall apart, and not waiting for it to, I'm waiting to see how it does. Okay, so let's have a look at some Trump. Let's have a look at some Trump, specifically interviews, because I like hearing it from the horse's mouth.
I am so happy. I think the case has been so misunderstood. That case, birthright citizenship, is about slavery. But for some reason, lawyers don't talk about it. The news doesn't talk about it. That's not about tourists coming in and touching a piece of sand and all of a sudden they're a citizenship. You know, they're a citizen. That is all about slavery.
Sorry, I didn't realise that's what he thought it meant. Is that what he thinks it means? That mentality kind of, that's why I've been speaking about the whole, he views sort of America and American citizenship or something as a membership club, like a golf social club thingy. The more that you pay into the system or into the social club, the more benefits that you get out of it, the more access you're allowed to certain areas and stuff, right? He does it with like the UN and like NATO and stuff, right? Like, you should not get as much help as the rest of everybody else who pays in more. And this is kind of another example of it, right? Forget it, because it's all about money.
That is all about slavery. And even look at the dates on which it was signed. It was right at that era, right after the Civil War. And if you look at it that way, the case is an easy case to win. And I hope the lawyers talk about birthright, citizenship, and slavery.
Interesting. Like the whole time he was talking, so I'm just gonna cycle through. He's looking over at her, you know, occasionally looks down over here. It's a sort of baseline behavior thing or whatever, you know, he's sort of glancing around as he's thinking about what he's saying, and he's relatively eloquent for Trump in this moment. But then he hits this point where he says he wants the lawyers to specifically talk about something, and look at where he looks. Look at where he looks when he says it.
Right after the Civil War. Yeah. And if you look at it that way, the case is an easy case to win. And I hope the lawyers talk about birthright, citizenship, and slavery.
Where is he looking? Where did he just start looking the moment that he said what he wanted? Let's just live in a world where he's making a valid point, okay? The whole entire time, he's talking about his point, he's making his point, he's, you know, scanning for words, occasionally maybe looking at some people, but he's not holding anybody's gaze or anything, apart from the person that he's addressing over here, and shaking his head as he's talking about stuff, and blah, 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 blah. And then the moment that he starts talking about I want, the moment that the word comes in of I want, where does he look? Straight down the lens. Straight. I am talking to somebody very specific right now. Yeah? And he didn't even say I want, he said I hope. That's his way of saying I want them, isn't it? Because he can't say I want them to do something that I want them to do. And how he enunciates specifically that. Listen, like it's like insert ad lib here, right?
And I hope the lawyers talk about birthright, citizenship, and slavery.
The way, sorry, do it again.
And I hope the lawyers talk about birthright, citizenship, and slavery.
It's the way there's a slight, it's a fraction of a pause before he says birthright, citizenship, and slavery. See the slavery, the thing for, look, see my 5 head is doing it at you right now, right? Slavery. The intonation, the emphasis on those words. These are the important words that I want to hear, or I hope I am going to hear come up in the arguments. One more time.
Talk about birthright, citizenship, and slavery.
And slavery, specifically, that's the one that he wants them to hear. That's the thing I want to hear. I mean, maybe having the most emphasis in either it being the most important, or maybe it being the most difficult, or something denoting about it being the most, in this case, the thing that he most hopes that he's going to hear from lawyers. I suppose, is that his lawyers? I don't know, maybe? I don't know which lawyers that he's referring to, but...
And it was a very positive, it was meant to be positive, and they use it now instead, not for slavery, they use it for people that come into our country and they walk in and all of a sudden they become citizens and they pay a lot of money to different cartels and others.
Does he think that people just get handed like citizenship willy-nilly? Isn't like American citizenships like maybe one of the hardest to get? Oh my gosh. He's complaining about the very thing that he wants to do. It's really all about the money, isn't it? Because I'm just like, hold on a minute. They pay a lot of money and I'm like, you want 5 million for your gold card and or just pay for entry or something into citizenship, and then he said to the cartels and other people, and I'm like, oh, it's just that you're not getting the money. Ah, that kind of makes a lot more sense. He doesn't care. It's not about actually, I mean, yeah, birthright citizenship grants it to people who are just born in the United States, on United States soil, yes. But he doesn't seem to have a problem so much with immigration, or at least people wanting to be citizens. It's just, stop paying the cartels for fake IDs and skipping the process or something, whatever he thinks is happening, and just pay me instead. Just pay me, Donald Trump. Okay. I feel like that's a little bit more Trump. Like, oh my gosh, all of this money's coming in because people are buying citizenships and stuff or whatever. Let's privatize. Come on.